We are back with Gina Ortiz-Jones right now, the Democrat candidate for the 23rd Congressional District. We're talking about some pretty big issues for this election season.
All right, Ms. Ortiz, you grew up here, so we asked, San Antonians what they wanted to hear from you. Our first question comes from Reyes Alvarez Jr. He says, you being a veteran, he wants your thoughts on NFL players kneeling for the national anthem. Do you support that?
Well, I think, look, when I took the oath to support the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that included the First Amendment. So I support peaceful protest. Now, would I kneel? No, I will always stand. But I support it. I support peaceful protest.
Healthcare and immigration by far are probably the biggest, most important topics for voters this election. This question is from Doug Waldbaum. He wants to know, how do you propose to pay for your health care plan where everyone has government-paid insurance? You support the single-payer system, correct? So
we need to move to a healthcare system that covers everyone, that's affordable and accessible for everyone. This is the #1 issue when I talk to folks throughout this district. And there are clear differences between the quality of care, for example, in our urban areas like San Antonio versus Del Rio or Eagle Pass. So we have to be, I think, committed to making sure that we move to that kind of system. People either can't afford it today, they're fearful they won't be able to afford it tomorrow, or they physically can't get to it. And that's why it boggles their mind that, again, their representative voted 8 times to take away their health care protections if they have a pre-existing condition. So the reality is, unfortunately, because many people use the emergency room as their primary caregiver, we are already paying for an exorbitant amount when we look at what it costs in other countries for this care.
But it's estimated to cost in the trillions if we were to move to a universal health care system. So how would you pay for that? Would you raise taxes, or would you go for a higher deficit?
I think a key part of this, though, is making sure that we bring costs down, right? That's a key part of this. So ensuring that Medicare, for example, can negotiate prescription drug prices. Every day in the country, 10,000 people turn 65. So we have a lot of people that are going to be moving toward fixed income. So the reality of medical costs increasing makes it makes it very difficult for people to get by. We've got to, again, take pragmatic steps that bring the costs down. I think that's one way to do that. The reality is also Texas needs to expand under the ACA. There are 600,000 people in our state that would have access to Medicaid if our governor just said, yes, let's make sure these people are covered. The resources are there. We've got to have leaders, though, that want to move us in the right direction. I think everybody should be able to take care of themselves, healthy enough to take care of themselves, healthy enough to take care of their kids, healthy enough to take care of their aging parents.
All right, Gina Ortiz-Jones, Democratic candidate for the 23rd Congressional District. Thanks for coming in this morning. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.